Friday night, we made it through another work week. Yay. Have just one break tonight, and that is a half case of Donruss football. So, we're going to go over a little information and then start ripping. All right, so let's get rolling down the road here. So first up there, feedback, guys and gals, that is completely automated. That way you never have to wait on me. Anytime you leave positive feedback for me, you are instantly going to get the same in return. And the second thing there, of course, is just to say thank you. Always appreciate you being here, bidding and breaking and hanging out with me. We are next looking at what's coming up in the days ahead. So both tomorrow night and Sunday night are going to be off nights because I've got a lot of shipping to get done, and I feel like I'm behind more than usual on it. So we're going to try to bang out a bunch of that over the weekend without adding to the pile. On Monday night, we will open a half case of Gold Standard football. That's the start of a new case. A half case of Encased basketball, also the start of a new case. And a full case of Tribute baseball. On Tuesday, we're going to break the back half of this Donruss football that we start tonight. We're going to finish it on Tuesday. And just like it is tonight, the base cards, whoa, what happened there, are not going to ship. I don't know what just happened. Are not going to ship to the teams. They have their own bidding spot. And there it goes again. Like, why? Maybe you guys aren't seeing that. I think it's something weird on my end. So, weird. Okay. Anyway. Let's, and my page keeps like flashing off. Weird. Anyway. So Wednesday is a huge new release day this upcoming week. And we're going to start a little early at 8:30 Eastern. That means the auctions are going to start ending early as well. Probably start ending around 6:30 Eastern. And it's going to be a very long break. I would guess maybe even approaching 3 hours. We will do a 16-box case of Origins football, a 16-box case of Chronicles baseball, a 4-box case of National Treasures collegiate football, and then a 5-box half case of Archives baseball. And those are loose boxes from a shared case for those of you who care about that sort of thing. Moving onward, tonight we have the half case of Donruss baseball. Once again, base cards do not ship to the teams. They have their own bidding spot. There's super detailed information about what does and does not ship in the listing description. And I am expecting this to get out the door to you no later than Wednesday. I would like to get it out to you sooner than that. Part of the reason we're taking off from breaking Saturday and Sunday, but Wednesday should be the latest. All teams are going to pull cards, so we don't need to worry about consolation cards in here. So this, once again, 9-box half case break of Donruss football. This is break number 3. It ended on eBay tonight, Friday night, the 16th of August. We have got the team names on the left-hand side, winning bidders across from each team there on the right-hand side. Base cards only, of course, it has its own spot, and that's been added to our handy little spreadsheet there. And one little quick thing, we did have an unpaid team, and I forgot about that. We've actually got, well, I know who that person is, so I'm not going to worry about that. That one is only $7. We won't worry about that. Let me see if I know who. Let me see if I have any familiarity with this other bidder that is sitting unpaid right now, and we'll see if we want to offer that team up or just move on. Honestly, I get so tired of this unpaid stuff. Sometimes I just move on anyway because it's just, you know, it's just so much. But it looks like the Chargers could potentially be available if someone wants to pick them up. So they ended on eBay for $20.50. And of course, I do not charge shipping when you pick them up in chat. And if somebody wants it, fine. And if not, we'll just move on because I'm not really in the mood to sit and wait. And what the heck, I've already unfortunately lost a big bunch of money to somebody who bounced an e-check. I know, right? See, this is why I never take e-checks ever. And this is from somebody who bids with me, and oh, they promised they did it by accident and they'll make it right. And yeah, here I set 2+ weeks later out $200+. So there you go. The moral of the story is you can't trust people in e-checks. So you noticed your background went out of focus there a little bit. That was on purpose. So don't let that concern you. We are still able to see everything. I do need to do one quick little thing though here. I do need to go in and note on this spreadsheet what is unpaid so that there is a record of that. And then we'll just go ahead if nobody wants the team. But I do want to get it squared away as to what is paid and what is unpaid, because that is our kind of our record for the night. So give me just 1 second here, kids, to get, there's actually a couple of things I got to get squared on that at the moment. And I know where one of those goes, so even though I'm marking it unpaid, I feel like it's fine. Somebody probably just got hung up or something, but nonetheless, to be accurate, we're going to get it done here. And, well, maybe we are. Daggone it. Just when I'm thinking like, oh, yeah, we're going to be early tonight and be on just rolling through stuff. It never works out that way, ever. Does it? No, doesn't. All right, so here's the updated spreadsheet, which does reflect our unpaid teams. And, of course, as I said, a couple of those, I know who the person is, and I feel like they just got hung up, so I'm not too concerned about that. The Chargers is a bidder that is unknown to me. David, you want the Chargers? Okay, man, we can do that. Let me give you I'm typing in for you right now what my PayPal email is. I don't use this for correspondence, guys. This email is like 100 million years old. I don't use it for anything but PayPal payments. Okay, so David, I am updating this to show that that's going to be Second Chance headed to you. And then I need to jump in there and close it out on eBay. We'll get rolling here in a second. Let's go on and get it closed out here in eBay, and then we can finish up. Maybe we can. Where is this? There we go. eBay likes to make things difficult sometimes, don't they? They do for me anyway. All right. So that is all done. And then, David, if you can give us the heads up, please, when you have gotten PayPal squared away. I would appreciate that very much. That would be helpful. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, we have got a little bit of work to do. And you know what that work is? It is figuring out which part of this case we're going to open tonight. So we learned from the other case that these are going to be in 3 rows inside that happy little case. So to get our 9 boxes, I'm going to enter the first row and the middle. And wait a minute, though. How did we do it last time? Tag on it. Hang on. I got to see how they look in here again. Because, you know, normally we take them all out and number them on the end, but there's 18 of them, so I really don't want to do it that way. So we're going to do, actually, we could just do top and bottom straight across, I think, would give me 9 and 9. Yeah, that's what we'll do. We'll do top row and bottom row. Last time we did them differently. We're going to do it like this time. Top row and bottom row. I'm going to hit random 3 different times. The first 2 times we're going to ignore. It'll be the 3rd time that'll tell us which ones we're going to open. So first one doesn't count. Second one doesn't count. Here's our 3rd one. We're going to open the bottom row of boxes tonight. So that will be it's actually 3 rows across, but nonetheless, if you could see inside the case, you'd know what I was talking about. It'll make it come out to the right number of boxes anyway. That's the most important part, is that we get the correct kind. Oh, David, yeah, you would need PayPal. Well, I mean, yes and no. You don't have to necessarily have a PayPal account, or maybe you do. I know you can use a debit card on PayPal, but I don't know if you can do it as a send money type thing. So I'm not sure about that. So does that mean then that you do not want the Chargers? So does somebody else if David doesn't? Because I did already cancel it out on eBay. So that means the original bidder no longer has the option to pay for it and own the team. So guys and gals, then if somebody else wants it, we can do that. Or David, if you want to try PayPal and see if it will allow you to do it. Jay Allen, they were $20.50 tonight. And no shipping, because I never charge you guys shipping when you pick them up in chat. Meanwhile, I forgot to say hi to everybody. So hi to David, and hi Charles. And Jay's here. Gosh, Jay, I haven't seen you in forever. Hi to you. Jay Allen, you are looking for Dan Marino for the Dolphins. All right. And Joe, you've probably figured out we're opening Donruss football. Brian is looking for a little Daniel Jones and the Giants. And David says, yeah, that doesn't work. That you can't use PayPal as a send money if you don't have an account. Okay. So Jay Allen, do you want the Chargers, or does anybody else want the Chargers? Because at this point, I did cancel it out thinking that David was picking it up. So I don't particularly necessarily want to own the Chargers. They're not my team, but anybody. I mean, David, the only other thing I could do, which I cannot do right now, is after the break, I could create a listing specifically for you and send you the item number, and it would, you and I just would have the understanding that you would purchase it after the break for the Chargers and whatever cards come out for the Chargers tonight. DC Star, the Chargers would be $20.50, assuming that you have another team coming from this break, which I assume you probably do if you're in here. Or 20, yeah, that's fine too. Now, if you, DC Star, if you did not have another team coming from this break already, then we might have to kind of split the difference on what the shipping would be or something like that. But otherwise, yeah, if you got another team coming, 20 is fine. Doesn't have to be 20, 50 specifically. So David, do you want to do what I said there a minute ago? I can create a listing for you after the break. I obviously cannot do it right now. Or DC Star, you want them. Okay. All right. Then, David, sorry about that, man. I did not realize that you did not use PayPal, brother. I apologize. I am going to... Oh, Jay Allen, you typed it in already. Thank you. So DC Star, that is the email address for you to use for PayPal. I'm going to again update this. And DC Star, if you would do me a favor when you pay for it, please also list in there what teams you have in this break and or your eBay username, just so that I will have a shipping reference and know where these, what to combine these with when they go out the door. That would be awesome. All right, so guys, the base cards, as everybody knows by now, and hopefully knew before you bid, since it's in the listing, have their own bidding spot. They don't ship to the teams. These are examples of base cards, okay? So all these inserts and anything that says rated rookie on it is also an insert. Those go to the teams. Anything that looks like that, even though it has an RC on it, that is the base rookie card. That is not the insert rookie cards. The rated rookies are the insert rookie cards. So hopefully we're all clear on that. The red borders are press proofs. There are loads and loads of other inserts in here, primarily, well, I shouldn't say primarily. There are a lot of them that are not numbered. There are some of them that are. So the ones that we see that are numbered, we will go through there and talk about in a little more detail. Oh, Jacob, DC Star, it is in the chat thread. If you scroll up, I typed it in, and then I think also Jay Allen typed it in as well a time or two in there. Jacob, you get the rookies that are rated rookies because those are inserts. You do not get base cards because base cards, once again, had their own bidding spot. So all of that, guys, was lined out in super detail in the listing description. I mean, it literally even says that the teams get the cards that the rookies that say rated rookie. I mean, it's like super specific in the listing description, hoping, of course, to avoid any confusion there by having stated that in all of the listing descriptions, right? So, of course, I would sure everybody knows that you should always check those sorts of things. Sometimes things do vary where something ships or something doesn't ship or something has a different bidding category. It always outlines it in the listing description, and it's always pretty specific. Oh, Jacob, you didn't read it? Yeah, no, sorry, man. I mean, that's why, again, I always stress to you guys all the relevant information. You can scroll down and find all that stuff right there in one spot every single time consistently. It says numbered to 500. Any of them with that purple border are numbered to 500. And it is the part of the listing where you see the date and the time of the break, and it gives you the product name and the product quantity, all of that. In that area, it's usually the biggest lettering in the break. It's generally going to be in either blue, green, or red, and it's all going to be right there in that same section of the description whenever there's a variance, i.e. something having a different bidding category, something shipping, something not shipping, etc. So my goal is always to let you guys know. I never am trying to hide information, but of course you guys have to help me out too by checking that out. And this is David Johnson for the Arizona Cardinals. Jay, most of the base heavy breaks will have their own bidding spot for the base cards, and I think even it probably said right up at the very top as well, like maybe the first or second sentence also said no base card ship, and to scroll down for more information. I mean, like, it's everywhere in there, guys. So there's our relic out of this box. Yeah, so the rated rookies ship out of here. Again, rated rookies ship. Rated rookies are inserts. They are not base cards. So anything like that, which is the majority of them, are rated rookies, and those do ship. Anything that is a base card does not ship. It goes to the base card category. A die cut here numbered to 75 for Jalen Smith. And Jalen is a cowboy. We're going to find a lot of die cuts. Well, I shouldn't say a lot. We'll find a reasonable amount of die cuts as we go through here tonight as well. And they'll be numbered to different things. This, for example, a gold die cut is numbered to 25, and that is coming out for the Indianapolis Colts, and it's Peyton Manning. Yeah, again, guys, most of the rookies say rated rookie on them. You get the rookies that say rated rookie on them. I mean, I keep saying that, but I feel like somehow that's not registering because all you guys are like, oh, I don't get the rookies. Why don't I get the rookies? You do get the rookies that say rated rookie on them, which in Donruss Football is the majority of the rookies. And, of course, you also get all of the rookie inserts and all of the rookie signatures and relics and all of that. You just don't get the base because the base had its own bidding spot. And I'm sorry if some of you did not see that, but, I mean, you know, I try, guys. It's listed in there. I have no way of knowing if people decide not to read it. So I try my best to be very specific and to provide all of the relevant information, but I certainly, you know, there's no way for me to verify whether or not someone read it. So I apologize if you didn't see it. Again, it's in there. I try to make it very prominent and list it in a couple of different places. All right, so this is box number 2. Well, right, Jay, even if you didn't read the whole listing, you know, that's also why it says right up there in like the first or second sentence. It also says in big bold letters that the base cards don't ship, and, you know, to scroll down for more information, because I understand not everybody reads everything, but I would think if you didn't read the first little bit, probably then somebody's scrolling down to like read the date and time, which is why it's also put in that area. So usually you're going to catch somebody one place or the other, either in the first sentence or two or down there when they're looking for the date and time of the break. So honestly, if it were up to me, I wouldn't break base card heavy products at all. Because often this is the sort of thing that happens, and I swear it doesn't matter like how many places and ways and times and things that you have it in there. There's always seems like some issues with it, and otherwise it, you know, so many cards, we wouldn't be breaking it by the half case if it were all the cards sorted to teams per se. But you know how they are. They want you to buy every single product. If you want the good stuff, you got to buy all the base card heavy stuff too. Yeah, Jacob, I would love to put it in the title, except it doesn't fit. You know, there's only a certain amount of letters that you have to do the title. And by the time the team name is in there, and the product name is in there, and the quantity and the break number, there's no room left most of the time. But again, the assumption would be if somebody's bidding on it that, you know, maybe they've either read the first sentence or two, or that they've at least scrolled down to see the date and time. Because generally, if you're bidding on a break, at least I know I do, I want to scroll down and at least find out when it's breaking and where it's breaking. So, but I think we probably have about beat this to death. So not to discount those of you who didn't read it and are unhappy about it, but I think we have kind of discussed it about to its fullest extent tonight, so I think we'll kind of move on from that. But anyway, of course, we've got football all weekend, nice preseason stuff. We had a few games on Thursday night, and we'll have more games coming up all weekend. We're going to get another chance to see how everybody's looking. I think Kyler Murray kind of came back down to earth a little bit, which you would expect. I mean, you know, these guys are rookies, they quarterbacks, and he didn't have a ton of help either, so you would expect him to mess up a little here and there. That is numbered to 100. That was Montana for the 49ers. But it does get kind of crazy in the preseason. Everybody, this one is purple border, but it is numbered differently. Most of our purple borders are to 500, but that one was to 96. But I think a lot of times people put too much stock in preseason in both directions. Like when somebody does something that is fantastic, you look at it and extrapolate it and say, oh my gosh, they're going to be the next coming of, Dan Marino or whatever. On the other hand, if somebody really blows the preseason, sometimes we look at it and think they're going to be the biggest bust we've ever seen in our lives. And in both cases, that usually turns out to be wrong. Because preseason, there's a lot of factors that are different in there in all regards. So I like to look at the rookies in preseason. I think it's fun, but I don't necessarily think it's a make or break in terms of predicting how guys are going to do. That's a nice little autograph to get things started off here. And that is numbered to 25. You have got Drew Bledsoe and the Patriots. Which reminds me, we didn't find an autograph in box number 1. I was so busy talking about what happened with the base cards and the not base cards. I just realized we had a relic in box number 1, but we had no autograph. So we've gotten an autograph here in box number 2, but we'll have to see if we've got a relic. We should have one of each, of course. So we will hopefully not have any more of that business. Although I will say in the first case, we had the same thing. We had one box that did not have both hits in it, and then everything else was as we expected. So super weird. But I didn't even realize it until I saw the Drew Bledsoe. Yes, DC Star, when they are tested, they are always found, first of all, in they come this way, okay, back up. And then you can see that it says test across it. So, yes, we would see it. That is numbered to 75 for the Chargers as a die cut. And secondly, yes, I do go back through all of the base and make sure that it is nothing but the base before it goes out the door. So I promise you that the base goes to the base and everything else goes to the team, to the teams, just like it should. So no worries there. Panini does treat those as inserts, of course. So they do go to the teams, and also they will show up without any problems as we're sorting through the stack. In fact, we found maybe, I don't remember if it was one or more than one, but I know we found at least one in the last break that we did. It says Kiko Alonso, and it is for the Dolphins. It is numbered to 47. Brian, yes, those are test prints. Those, I think it actually says like aqueous test or something on it. So, I mean, technically they're just like SPs and they call them test prints, but really, I mean, it's basically just a short print. And that's what they call them in here. So, more or less it means SP. Not, maybe entirely, but more or less. So you know how Panini is. They're always adding little extra things into, especially the flagship products like this, because they do so many parallels and things, because there's not a ton of hits per box, obviously. So they juice it up by adding lots of parallels and other things. And this box, we did get both of what we were supposed to have. It is Rob Gronkowski and the Patriots for our relic, numbered to 299. So both hits in there were Patriots. Both the autograph and the relic headed to New England out of that box. Oh, yeah, DC Star, if they're in there, we're gonna find them, and they're gonna go to the teams. And as I said, if for some reason there was one that wasn't face up, which would be kind of unusual, they typically are, we would certainly find it doing the second pass through the base to make sure that there's no inserts or parallels mixed in. So. Jay Allen, you are out of here, and you need us to work on the mojo for your Miami Dolphins. All right, bud. We will work on that for you. Try to get you some Dolphins. See if we can't get you some good mojo flowing tonight on Friday night so you can wake up on Saturday and be happy. Well, you might not be happy till you see the recap, I guess. Assuming that we get you some good Dolphins, and then you see the recap, then you would have a good Saturday. That sounds like a lot of work, doesn't it? So, you need some good luck. We've hit some stuff for you, though, recently, haven't we? I mean, we've done pretty well for you recently, I think. I don't remember you being on a particularly dry run, though. Have you been? There's an Alshon Jeffrey again. Our silver foil or hollow foil or whatever you want to call them are traditionally numbered to 100 in here. A little Kyler Murray insert for the Arizona Cardinals. And Baker Mayfield. And Baker, I think, guys, is that a short print? It's facing around the opposite way. That may be a short print. We're going to set it there as if it is, and I will double check it. But I want to say it is because that's a photo of variation. So I think that's an SP. Kurt Warner signature marks. Wow, we've got 2 blasts from the past have come out so far tonight. That is number 225 for the Seahawks and Kurt Warner. Oh, the variation, it's a photo variation though, right? Right. Yeah, so short print, photo variation. So that is what I thought. We did correctly put it in the right group there so that it goes, of course, to the teams. Little Antonio Brown, who I think maybe has finally shown back up to camp there with the Raiders, possibly. Now that the drama with his feet is maybe over and the drama with his helmet is close to over, and the drama that is him being sued by the caterers doesn't impact his ability to play football. So maybe the soap opera that is Antonio Brown is actually going to be in camp and showing up now for the Raiders. It's just amazing, isn't it, how that happens every year. It just like follows him around, the drama. Little Deshaun Watson dominators. Ed Oliver. And Ed is a low-numbered orange parallel. Number 2. I think that says 91. Why is it to 91? I don't know. They put some unusual numbers in here at times. That's one of them. Like, why wouldn't it be just to 90 or go on and make it to 100 or something? Why 91? So odd. Strange indeed. Jerome Bettis, the bus. Antonio Gates with the purple variation. A little Deebo Samuel for the 49ers. Patriots. And the little advertising cards. I always flip the advertising cards. I'm sure you're wondering, like, why do you need to see the back of the advertising card? You don't necessarily need to see the back of the advertising card. It's just I like to do that so that if by any chance there's a little mosquito. Hang on a minute. Oh, did I get him? If by chance there's a card stuck to the back of it, as does happen sometimes, if we flipped it over, we would catch that. So that's the reason that I always flip over those little inserts. Not that you were maybe even wondering that, but in case you were, now you know. Oh, jersey number. Yeah, good call. I didn't even notice that. I'm way off my mark tonight. I'm got a little sidetracked at the beginning there, and I just don't have my game on, do I? I missed that was his jersey number. I should have known that. I know better than that. Eric Dickerson insert for the Rams. Has been one of those weeks, though, I will tell you that. So I'm not surprised. This is numbered to 100. A nice little Barry Sanders insert, Legends of the Fall for the Lions. And yes, the cards that have the teams and the field on them, those are inserts. So they do, of course, I'm talking about these. Those do, of course, go to the teams. Those are inserts. Anthony Hitchens. And Anthony is a die cut, numbered 275. Yes, again, guys, the variations, the short prints, all of that stuff, those are not base cards. Those are parallels or inserts or whatever you want to call them. Different people call them different things. Some people use those words interchangeably. Only the base cards go to the base. If it is not a base card, it goes to the teams, okay? So base cards to base, everything else to the teams. It's Adam Thielen for the Vikings. And there's a nice little power. I like those power formulas inserts. I think those are pretty cool. I think the inserts in here as a whole look very nice this year. I mean, some of them are designs that we see, you know, from year to year. But there are a couple of new ones. And I do think they've done a nice job with them this year. I think they look good. Kerryon Johnson and the Lions. That little relic is numbered to 100. And it's a 3-color. That's probably why it's numbered a little bit lower. They're usually I shouldn't say the more boring relics, but the 1-color relics and the relics that are not quite as eye-catching are typically numbered to 299 in here. But the ones that have a little extra pop, a little pizzazz, are generally a bit lower. So this is numbered to 89. We've got the orange variation here for Mr. Doug Baldwin and the Seahawks. All right. We are 3 down and 6 to go tonight. I know, Jay Allen, that little, I tell you what, there's a cat that I think I've probably told you all about. It's a stray cat. And I've been taking care of it for years. I mean, like 6-7 years. And, you know, I keep it medicated and up to date on things, but it likes to be outside. But sometimes it'll come in, and it comes in to eat, and then it wants back out, and it seems like it's always like in and out. And sometimes that outdoor stray cat will linger. It just like stops halfway in the door and rubs its head on the door frame or does whatever. And then all manner of mosquitoes and crazy things come in the door while the cat is in limbo of like, yeah, I'm coming in, but I need to scent mark everything. And so then they get in the house and we end up getting 5,000 bites on us before we get it killed. So I did get it a while ago, though, on the table. I know it probably made the camera shake, but man, I had to get that thing because I can't tell you one little mosquito how much damage one little mosquito will do to you, especially if you're sleeping. So it just has free reign to like, whoo, bite the crap out of you all night long. And believe me, they do. That is numbered to 50 for the Panthers. Got a little Greg Olsen happening there. Damian Harris insert behind it. And of course our Gridiron Kings inserts are always fun. I liked that Gridiron Kings set. Do you guys remember that? It was 2015 maybe? Gridiron Kings was its own release. I kind of liked it, but I guess it didn't do very well because they didn't bring it back. So, little Terry Bradshaw to 500. Another Colts insert. And we've got somebody hanging on to the back of somebody else. Easton Stick was hanging out there with Darius Slayton. And there we go. Off we go to the races. A little Matt Ryan. That, of course, a photo variation. And our autograph. Hey, hey. Hakeem Butler. It is numbered to 299, headed to the Arizona Cardinals. Well, Baker trying to hitch a ride there on the back of that card, wasn't he? Here comes Aaron Donald for the Rams. Has anybody been watching Hard Knocks? I got caught up on it this week, and it's about like you would expect it to be. John Gruden, you know, going into Chucky mode and cussing a bunch of people out and generally being rude. That's always the most interesting part to me, because most of the time the head coaches, and I guess that's kind of just their job, the position coaches more to do the other things, but the head coaches are always just kind of there to, it seems to me, yell at you and insult you and try to prompt you to get better through, I don't know what, fear, intimidation, anger, embarrassment, who knows. And then the position coaches are the ones who actually kind of get down in the trenches with them. But even so, even some of the position coaches, you don't really ever see them doing anything besides just yelling at them. Me, obviously being female, I didn't grow up playing sports. Well, I shouldn't say obviously. There are plenty of females, I guess, that do grow up playing sports. I was not one of them. I like to watch them. I don't like to play them, really. So I don't know if that's the way the culture is all across the board. Maybe it is. Maybe it just starts in grade school where they just start, like, conditioning you by yelling at you. I don't know. Jay Allen, you've never watched Hard Knocks? It is on HBO is what it comes on, and it's always kind of fun to watch. And usually it's almost always a team that's not very good, because the teams that are very good don't have to participate, and kind of the teams don't usually want to participate unless they have to. And so if they've been to the playoffs in the X number of seasons, they do not have to participate. And there's all these other qualifiers that they can say, you know, no, we pass. But then it still will leave X number of teams every year that do have to, say, have their name in the hat, so to speak. That's numbered to 75, Gus Edwards and the Ravens. And then amongst those teams, the NFL Network will pick one to highlight. And usually they're going to pick the one that looks like it'll be the most entertaining, which, you know, can either be the biggest train wreck or or otherwise. You know, like last year it was the Browns, this year the Raiders. I'm sure partially because of the fact that they're rebuilding and they have AB and it's, you know, second year for Gruden and all that stuff. kind of built-in drama, I guess. Now, that's numbered to 100 as well, Zach Martin and the Cowboys. But, man, I mean, like, that shouldn't even hardly count as 2 colors. There's just the tiniest little sliver of white. But they did, I guess, count it as a second color and hence numbered it to 100 on that relic. Philip Rivers to 500. Steve Largent insert. That's the one we found autographed earlier. Happy days. But it's always fun to watch. So if you have a chance to, I mean, if you get HBO or HBO Go or regular on your cable or whatever, it's worth watching. It's fun usually to check it out. In my experience anyway. Well, hang on now. Had somebody message me today and say their packages have all been returned. That's numbered to 100. And then I pulled up all the tracking and saw that the post office says the address is wrong. So just while I'm thinking about that, because I happened to read that message shortly before we did the break tonight, always remember to check your email address, guys and gals. Or your postal address, I should say, not your email address, your postal address, to make sure that it's correct, because otherwise I send it out to you and then it just turns around and comes back to me, but that round trip will take like 2 weeks. I know, they take forever. It's the sending back that usually takes forever. It gets where it's going pretty quickly, and then you'll see it just like scan in that location 2 or 3 times, and then the next thing you know, it'll be like, oh yeah, return to sender. And somehow the return trip always takes longer than the trip to get there. I don't know why that is. You say you have the cheapest cable package because you mainly stream. You know, though, a lot of the lower, I shouldn't say the lower, but I mean kind of the lower, the entry-level tier of cable, with a lot of places these days does include HBO. All that stuff is, I used to work for a cable company many, many years ago. And all that stuff is really complex, but it basically boils down to some channels, when they negotiate agreements with the cable companies, negotiated that they're in, you know, the all XYZ packages, or negotiate it based on subscriber rate, and it's to the cable company's advantage to have more subscribers, so they'll add it into other tiers. It did not always used to be that way. I mean, that's changed a lot. Back in the early days, it was never with any of those kind of tiers. It was always a big, hefty upcharge every month. This is numbered to 26 for the Green Bay Packers. But once upon a time, it was that way. But these days, a lot of times it will be bundled in. When you know, aren't even paying all that much, it'll still end up bundled in, so it might be worth checking out. And if you do have it, you would love all the streaming stuff, because if you have it on your cable network, you get HBO Go automatically, which just means you can then, it's everything available all the time via streaming. So for what that's worth. Oops, hang on. I stacked one little group of those on top of some inserts. So let me sort that real quick and get the. There was like 5 of them I stacked on top of inserts. So we need to move those out of there. You have a good mail lady, and somebody had your address scribbled on a package, but since your mail lady knew you, she made sure you got it. Well, that is good. I wouldn't I would not trust my handwriting on a package, I'll tell you that. My handwriting is horrible. But I always print the labels, as most or many or all of you know. I always print them right there from eBay, so as long as the addresses are correct when you check out, then we're good to go. Because I would never trust my terrible handwriting to get something where it should go, I'll tell you that. No way. That is numbered to 50. Darnell Savage Jr. That's another one for the Packers. A lot of that stuff is actually red. Oh, man. So, fans of the game, usually they pick a team, but she doesn't. She's a broadcaster. It's probably why. Anyway, because it just says NFL and it does not have a team associated with it, it sets up there in the housekeeping area, and at the very end of the break, we will use random.org and to find that a new home. Meanwhile, we flipped over a nice one here with TJ Hawkinson and the Detroit Lions, numbered to 299. But yeah, those automated machines at the post office, I really don't even know how they, they read the handwriting and sort stuff where it's supposed to go. Although I think maybe they just kind of look at the zip code and, as long as they can read the zip code part of it, it applies a little sticker to it. It probably gets down to a more individualized sort once it gets to that zip code, I would guess. I don't really know. You think the seller wanted it to be returned to sender? I doubt it, man, because you know what? I don't get a whole lot of stuff returned to sender, but man, I hate when I do. Because then you've got to try to, track down the person it belongs to, and then you've got to pay to ship it out again. You've already paid to ship it once. Then you have to turn around and pay to ship it again, and repackage it, and the whole deal. I always hate getting them. Fortunately, I don't get too many. But sometimes people will just leave it at the post office. They'll get a notice to go get it, and then they just never go get it. And it'll sit at the post office for a week or 10 days and then be sent back to me. This is numbered to 30 for the Broncos. And then inevitably, as it's on the way back, they'll be like, oh, I didn't know I should have gone, at some point in 10 days. So I need you to send that back to me. It's like, oh, come on now. Everybody knows you can't leave it there forever. But it all gets worked out eventually. Well, we have a nice little numbered studio series here, and that is to 100. So there's lots of Canvas rated rookies, as you've seen go by, but they're not all studio series like that one. So it gets a number to commemorate the fact that it is studio series. Woohoo! And there is a Darnold to 100. I don't even know how long the post office holds them these days. They may not hold them very long anymore. I don't know. I always, mine is, I'm usually here during the daytime, or if I'm not, someone is. And so we have very seldom do we get a notice and have to worry about going to pick it up. It's usually left. To 299, it's Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills. Jay Allen. Jay Allen's very succinctly says, people are dumb, and that's why I stopped selling on eBay. Oh, man. No, I mean, it's just, it's one of those things. Everybody kind of thinks they've got it under control. I mean, I don't know that anybody sets out to necessarily give you the wrong address and have their stuff go to the wrong place. It just sort of inherently somehow happens from time to time. So I had one guy, this was the worst one though, and this has been a while back. This has been a year or two ago. And a guy sent me an email after the item had already been delivered and told me that that hadn't been his address in like 5 years. And he had no change of address, so obviously would have still been in effect from that far back. But he didn't tell me until it had already been delivered. I'm like, man, there's nothing I can do. You know, that is all the way down in Florida, I think it was. There's no way for me to, I don't know who lives there now, so I don't have a phone number to call them. I don't have the name of the person that lives there now. Like, the only hope is if the person is kind enough to write on the package, like, you know, unknown or doesn't live here or something like that, and then throw it back in to let it return to sender, which of course the person who lived there did not do that. And so, yeah, man, the guy's cards got delivered to a totally, who knows what, random person. But that's probably the worst one I've had, because I'm like, man, you have not bought anything on eBay in 5 years that you got the wrong address in there? I don't know, crazy. There's Peyton Barber to 500. Maybe that just means I buy too much on eBay that I couldn't imagine somebody going 5 years without buying on there. Is probably just a sign of me buying too much on there. It's more like it, I think. Oh, that's cool, little Jalen Hurd. But eBay's changed a lot too. I mean, it's definitely, over the years, it's morphed into something completely different than it was. Good in some ways, bad in others. But it used to be that you could really find anything on eBay, you know? I mean, anything. This is numbered to 25, and it is Noah Fant die cut for the Broncos. I mean, I remember once we had gone on vacation, and we were in, I want to say, the Cayman Islands. And the flip-flops or something I had taken just weren't cutting it. I don't remember why, if I broke them or lost them or what. I just remember I had to buy new ones. So I bought some there and ended up just absolutely loving these particular ones. And I wore the heck out of them. And then one day they fell apart and broke. And by now it had been like, I don't know, 7 years or something since I had gotten them before. Daggone it, we found her the last time with an autograph too. I do not like getting Erin Andrews as an autograph hit because she doesn't choose a team. I mean, it's fine. It gives everybody a chance at another hit, but like I would rather have pulled somebody but Erin Andrews. I feel like this is a what sort I'm looking for? A clone of our first case. In so far as we had the one box that did not have one of our hits, and then we had the Erin Andrews autograph. I mean, it's just like a little clone. Hopefully that will at least maybe it'll make somebody happy when they get it. I don't know. We'll use random to give it out at the end of the break. But at any rate, yeah, so it was like, I don't know how many years, 5, 6, 7 years after I bought those original flip-flops in another country. And I went on eBay and I put in, I didn't even know the style or anything. I just knew the name of it and, of course, my size. And I just typed in the name of it and my size. And within the first probably page, maybe 2 that I looked at, there they were, used. And the exact ones. That's the kind of stuff I'm talking about. Like, you used to be able to literally find anything on there. It's switched up a lot now, but Not quite as yard sale-y, maybe, is the way to say it, as it used to be. But it's still a lot of fun. I get on there and buy stuff all the time. I think they should give us another autograph when they give us Erin Andrews. I think she should be like a bonus autograph, and there should still be another autograph in here. I just don't think she should count. Rashawn Gary to 100. Big Ben. Peyton Manning insert for the Colts. Speaking of the Colts, like, what is going on with Andrew Luck this year? Apparently he's got some weird extra little bone. Maybe I shouldn't call it weird. I'll just say he has an extra little bone of some sort in his foot, is it? His foot, his ankle, somewhere in that general vicinity that most people don't have, and whatever that little like bone thing is, apparently he's got him all jacked up, and they don't know what his sitch is going to be going into the season. Again, it's numbered to 100. It's another studio series. That one for the Falcons with Allison. So I bet if you are a Colts fan, you are probably feeling a little bit unhappy that you are potentially going into another season with question marks about Andrew Luck's health. Terry Bradshaw, nice, for my Pittsburgh Steelers, numbered to 75 with a die-cut press-proof hollow foil. And then, of course, you got the Eagles, who are, I guess, never going to have a quarterback. Hey, it's Jared Stidham to 99. Cool. Patriots, we did get another autograph in here to make up for Erin Andrews. Now I don't feel so unhappy about pulling her. I feel happier about it now. Now that she's an extra autograph, I'm happier. So, yeah, I think the Eagles are down to just Clayton Thorson, right? I mean, because they're not obviously playing Wentz in the preseason. And then what's-his-head broke something, didn't he? And then somebody else, Sudfield, broke something. And then somebody else got a concussion maybe. And now I think they're down to just him, just Thorson, right? So I don't know kind of how they're going to swing that. Because even in a preseason game, I would think you would want a guy and a backup. Nyheim Hines passing the torch. Colts on one side and Edgerrin James, Colts on the other side. Numbered to 99. With our dual relic. Got some little imperfections. You can probably see them on your corners, and even down here in the flat right there above my nail, you can see a little chipping and maybe a place where the foil is peeling back a tad bit. So not minty mint out of there, but nonetheless, you're probably glad to have it if you own the Colts tonight. Ah, cool. Downtown Dan Marino. There you go, Jay Allen. That is sweet. Let's look at our other rated rookie, and now we can focus on this handsome fellow, Dan Marino, and the Dolphins with our downtown hit. Nice. Very, very nice indeed. All right, we are 6 completed and 3 remaining. That's your very first downtown out of any product? Well, cool. Cool, cool, cool. I like that. They have them, of course, in basketball and football, and I think, aren't they going to be in Chronicles baseball too, maybe? Or were they in regular Donruss baseball? I can't remember what goes what anymore. There's so many different configurations of Chronicles baseball. Although this year I did see that in addition to all the inserts and things that make Chronicles fun, they are guaranteeing 2 Spectra, I think it was, base cards per box. I mean, you pull a decent amount of Spectra out of Chronicles anyway, typically. But now they're guaranteeing the 2 base, so. I know, we do have to find your Daniel Jones, don't we? We do have to get something going for your Giants. I know, you did have a Dan Marino feeling. You did say that earlier. You do get some good feelings, Jay Allen, that pan out. And lately, you've been on a pretty good little roll with that, I might add. That is numbered to 100, Cooper Kupp. Yeah, the downtowns typically have pretty healthy resale value. And especially you get a really good player on it. Very healthy resale helps. And the rookies are always really good if you can get a hot rookie on a downtown as well. Numbered to 299, we have a Bryce Love autograph out for the Redskins. Of course, we've got Origins coming out Wednesday, so it is that football time of year where they start really pouring on the new releases. But I have to tell you, I love Origins, so I always look super forward to it. And I did not get as many cases this year as I got last year, which I'm bummed about, man. He's just, it's the same distributor. It keeps shorting me. Trubisky, Bears, Relic to $2.99. And he just keeps telling me, oh, well, we got less. I'm thinking, no, you didn't. Like, there's no way you got less of Origins. Maybe less of some products, but there's no way they got less of Origins. They're just holding more back so they can sell it at a higher price. And I know that's what they're doing, but you can't do anything about it. But regardless, we have, I don't know, a handful of cases, probably 4 or 5 cases still to open. Just fewer than we've maybe had in some past years. And this is Blake Martinez, numbered to 75 for the Green Bay Packers. Jay, you're looking for Will Grier out of here. Will Grier has been, I'd say, middle of the road in terms of how the ease of pulling his autograph. So he doesn't come out like all the time, but he's not one of those guys that never comes out. So I would think that would definitely be within the realm of possibility for us to come up with a little Will Grier for you. Philip Lindsay, numbered to 25, die cut for the Broncos. Jay Allen, you've never gotten a hit from Origins ever? Well, I say ever like with a question mark, but really it probably shouldn't be ever with a question mark because it's not a product that has an extraordinary number of hits in it. It's a very cool product, but there is only 1 pack per box. Most everybody probably already knows that. And then we usually have 2 hits. Well, what I would call 2 hits per box. Some people consider numbered cards and other things to also be hits, so it depends on your definition, I guess. But generally, that's about what we're going to find. And so out of a whole case, what would you get? 32 then, hits. And very seldom would we be lucky enough to find that 1 per team. Although I wish they would. I've said that forever. If Panini would come out with a product, and Origins would actually be a really good one to do this with, because it is just the one pack per box, and you could probably regulate it in there for easier anyway. But I've said forever, if they would come out with a product where they said every team is guaranteed to get a hit. Now, you don't know who the player is, but just you're guaranteed out of that case of cards, your team is going to walk away with one hit. Whether it's relic, whether it's autograph, whatever, you're going to get a hit. Like, that would be so nice and so unique. And I think it would have a huge amount of interest, and they could probably sell a ton of it and probably get a pretty good little price for it. But maybe it is that the manufacturing process would be too cumbersome to guarantee that you get one for every team in every case. I don't know. I don't know how the behind the scenes works, but if they could do that, I sure think it would be awesome. You said Will Greer was all over the place, but now he's kind of MIA. Trying to think, where did we pull him recently, guys? It must not have been out of here then. What else I don't even know what else we've opened. We have opened so much stuff. But I want to say we kind of recently pulled him out of something. I don't remember if he was in Majestic a lot, but we do have another case of Majestic, which I found the other day, so we'll probably break it towards the end of next week. So if he was prevalent in Majestic, that might be a possibility, but I honestly don't remember if he was or not. Oh, did an ambulance go by? I didn't even notice. I did not even notice, JL, and I don't know. It didn't stop, obviously, because now that you've made me aware of it, I'm listening and I don't hear it, so it must have just shot on by. We do not live very far from a fire station. It's not, it's not like on the street or anything, but it's not too terribly far away, maybe a couple miles, something like that. And a lot of times, you know, the paramedics from the fire station, it seems like, handle a lot of those types of calls, so it could have been somebody going down the street for that. Greer wasn't in the last break of this, you mean, or in the last break of Majestic? I'm just trying to think what we hit him in recently, because we did hit him in something recently. Can't think what it was, though, so I don't know. I don't know. Little Nick Bosa. Woohoo! I'm glad that has some ink on it. 49ers to 199 with your man Nick Bosa. Nice hit. And here comes a die cut for the Colts of Peyton Manning. It is numbered 275. Peyton. That is numbered to 25, L.J. Collier, with another die cut. I told you they like their die cuts in here. But just in general, I mean, more at half or about half, maybe a little more than, in Donruss flagship is actually inserts, parallels, numbered cards, hits, etc. That's part of the design of the product. They like to snazz it up that way a little bit, so it's always got a lot of interesting things to see in it. We are about to turn over a DeAndre Hopkins relic for the Texans. That is numbered to 299. Yeah, Jay, I agree with you. There have not been a ton of Bosa's come out of anything, really. I would say Nick Bosa has been, for me, it has been harder to pull Nick Bosa than it has Kyler Murray. I've actually pulled quite a bit of Kyler Murray, including some really nice low numbered stuff. We've had really good luck with Kyler across the board. But Bosa definitely has come out significantly less. Jay Allen, it is hard to get some of those die cuts and sleeves because they do have such weird angles on them. I mean, some of them are cut like Christmas trees and everything else. They can be a bit challenging to get in there. I would say that if you use the thick card sleeves for them, it's substantially easier than if you try to use the standard card sleeve. The thick ones are wider, you know, so it's easier. But yeah, they're certainly less fun to put in a sleeve than regular cards. There's no question about that. Hey, that's low. Alejandro Villanueva, numbered to 16 for the Steelers. Yeah, I don't know why they do the die cuts that way either. It really does make life difficult. And the other thing is sometimes in certain sets and products, the die cuts will be autographed or have a hit attached to them. And then, you know, somebody asked me once, like, well, I want to get it in a one-touch case. I'm like, I can put it in a one-touch case, but I'm not sure that I would, right? Because, I mean, any movement would smash up some of those tips and things on there. To 100, Carson Wentz and the Eagles. So it makes it just difficult all the way around when they put in funky ones. Now, some of them, of course, are flat on the top and flat on the bottom, and those would be better candidates to go in one touch. But I'm talking like some of them are cut like stars or different things, and they're really kind of difficult. That is numbered to 100, Nick Chubb and the Browns. Oh, you just had the standard sleeves. Yes, it will make it harder if all you have got is the standard sleeves. Oh, hang on a second. Sorry, I have got... Get down. Get down, kitty. No. Nope. Oh, mercy. I had a kitty who was going to try to pay us a visit. And I decided I better intercept Kitty before Kitty did pay us a visit. As you probably heard, Kitty did not like being told to get down. Gave a little protest there. I don't know what the big fascination is, but sometimes they... like to join us. Not very often, but every once in a while somebody gets a wild hair. All right, we are officially headed into Last Box Mojo. So here we're going to try to collectively focus our energies and pull out some big monster hits out of the last box. That would be the hope anyway. That's our goal. Let's see if we can make it happen here tonight. You said the cat saw the shiny cards. Well, off to my right, I have a big, you know, section of the table that is used for sorting. And of course, during breaks, I keep all kinds of stuff over there, extra sleeves and, you know, scissors and top loaders and anything you can think of. Tons of stuff over there. And then, of course, the cards as we move them out of the line of fire, they're over there. And there's still plenty of space down there on the end that is open. And every once in a while, Kitty thinks, oh, let me jump up onto this open space and see what's up. And I don't like Kitty to be anywhere near any of the cards for obvious reasons. So on the rare occasion when that happens, I have to get up and move Kitty. So that's kind of what happened. Deontay Johnson, numbered to 500 for my Pittsburgh Steelers. Oh, you need to see a Dan Marino autograph to 10. Wow. That would be some big time last box mojo. I'm not going to say it won't happen because maybe it will, and we will try to make it happen. But if we did, that would be incredible. Especially considering we already kind of mojo, you know, felt your Marino and delivered you the downtown. The mojo will really be smiling upon you if you also pulled an autograph to 10 for the man. But hey, never hurts to ask, right? Little Alvin Kamara. That is numbered to 10, and we've got an image variation, photo variation on the front, press proof as well, and of course the nice low number to go with it. And a John Elway for the Broncos. Cool. Little short print there. Photo variation again. Here's our autograph. It's a little Super Bowl hard signed autograph for the Redskins. Mark Rypien. So Skins have a good, fun little throwback ink hit come out of last box. And of course the Saints with the Kamara to 10. So last box mojo's kind of holding its own so far. Got a little bit left to look at though. See what else it delivers to us. Absolutely, J. Allen, you can dream. That's what I'm saying. You should always ask for it. And sometimes the mojo delivers it. But I would always ask for it. I agree. Adrian Peterson. Little rated rookie in there. I've got quite the stack down there of the advertising cards and little insert blocks. Although I'm always happy to get them both, especially the thick little pack, you know, the thing that's meant to simulate a hit to fool the pack feelers, the little blank cards, dummy cards, different people call them different things, spacers, whatever you want to call them. We haven't seen as many of them this year as we do in past years, and I love those things. I save them up for shipping purposes, for helping protect cards in shipments, and I love it when we pull them. Because my big box that they stay in is getting pretty low. Honestly, you're way happy with the downtown. Oh, I'm glad. I'm happy that you like your downtown Dan Marino. I like that too. I thought that was a really nice hit. Triple Play Sports 360. How are you? You're coming in way at the end tonight, huh? You're here just for the recap? Jay Allen, you save those spacer cards too? I know, I think everybody does because they're, I mean, it's like they're so perfect for that purpose. Honestly, I wish Panini would just sell those by the case. I would buy them, you know? Like, here you go. We'll sell you a case of just the blank spacers. Sign me up. I need them. Jordan Reed to 100. Redskins. I really, seriously, I would buy them if they gave us the opportunity to do so. I'd be all over that, man. All right, a passing the torch for the Ravens. That is Joe Flacco and why did I just blank on his name? Lamar Jackson. We do have some unfortunate little corners there that have seen better days. But still, always good to find passing the torch. I like those. Those are always good little hits. J.J. Arcega-Whiteside. Anthony Hitchens, that is numbered to 135. Fran Tarkenton for the Vikings. Aaron Donald. Tom Brady Dominator for the Patriots. And you knew we weren't going to get out of here without another die cut, right? That is Larry Fitzgerald and the Cardinals, numbered 275. Well, Steve Largent insert, and there we go. That's the whole ball of wax. We are going to recap things, but before we do that, we have a tad bit of housekeeping to take care of here. And it involves, I guess we should say what it involves first, these two little Erin Andrews cards. One autographed, one not. And of course, fans of the game, usually the folks pick a team, but since she's a broadcaster, maybe she didn't think it would be politically correct to choose a team. I don't know. Anyway, she didn't. So we're going to give that out using random.org. Here's the way it will work. I'm going to bring you along with me. We're going to roll over here to the spreadsheet, whereby we are going to copy all of our team names, including the base card spot is in this, guys, because that was a bidding spot, same as the teams. So we're going to copy all of that. Then we're going to roll over here to random, and I'm going to drop it all in there by way of pasting it in. I'll scroll through it so that you can see everything was correctly copied and pasted. And then I'm going to hit random one single time. And whoever ends up in the number one position after I hit random is going to get those two Erin Andrews cards, the autographed one and the unautographed one. So here we go. Good luck, everybody. The Giants get it. So we didn't get you a Daniel Jones, but I don't know. Maybe you can make some money on Aaron Andrews. Maybe. I hope. I hope you do. So this I put in a sleeve so that I can write on it so that I don't have to go back and watch this later to remember where it goes. And ditto here, also in a sleeve, which I will demonstrate to you here in a minute so that, you know, we don't have to worry about anybody thinking I actually wrote on the card, because I promise you I would never write on a card. Never, ever, ever would I do that. But see, there you go, on the sleeve. So both the Aaron Andrews autograph and otherwise going to the Giants by way of our dear friend random.org. We'll recap. These are numbered cards that are somewhat lower numbered and our die cuts and things of that nature. And that we may have had some other numbered things that went through. Well, we definitely did, that are higher numbered that we're not recapping. But these are mostly the die cuts and the lower numbered things that I set aside for recap. And of course, that handsome card right there. Gotta love that baby. That is a Downtown Dan Marino. So very nice. The Canvas collections, they're a little higher numbered, the Studio Series. They are numbered to 100, but there were only 2 of them in the break that were Canvas Studio Series, so that's why we left those in to recap as well. Now we'll take a look at our little pile of hits. See what we've got in here. So A passing the torch to 99. Once again, as I pointed out prior, your edges and corners are imperfect on that. That's for the Ravens. A little throwback Super Bowl on card signature for the Redskins. Relic to 299 for the Texans. There's the nice Nick Bosa coming out for the 49ers. Another relic to 299, the Bears. Signature for the Redskins with Bryce Love. Passing the torch again to 99. This one with the Colts, front and back. Mr. Jarrett Stidham and the Patriots to 99. To 299 for the Buffalo Bills. This is the Lions to 299 with Hawkinson. There's the Cowboys and a Zach Martin relic. We have a signature, Hakeem Butler headed to the Cardinals. There's a 3-color relic to 100, Kerryon Johnson and the Lions. And we had the Kurt Warner out for the Seahawks. A relic to 299 for the Patriots with Gronk. Signature with Drew Bledsoe, numbered to 25 for the Patriots. And then a David Johnson relic for the Cardinals. And that first box, once again, did not give us a signature. It only had a relic in it, which is kind of a rip. But that happened in the first case, too. We had a box that was missing a hit. So weird. All right, so there is the break. There is the recap. I'm going to put up the spreadsheet information one more time. If you missed it earlier, you're about to get the 411 on your shipping date. And we'll also take a look at what's coming up in the days ahead. So expecting this should be on the way to you no later than Wednesday. I would like for it to be sooner. I hope it will be sooner. That's one reason we're not breaking Saturday or Sunday night. There's a lot of stuff to break. There have been a lot of releases lately and a lot of them with a lot of cards. So I am going to try to get a ton of stuff done this weekend, and hopefully that's going to be on the way to you faster than Wednesday. But it should not be any later than that. It will be on the way to you. Consolation cards, we don't have to worry about that in this break. There were tons of cards. Every team is going to have a stack of cards headed their way. And one final reminder that base cards had its own bidding spot. All the base cards shipped to that spot. Completely detailed list of what goes to base and what goes to teams can be found in the listing description. Coming up in the days ahead, tomorrow night, Sunday night, both off nights. Monday night, a half case of Gold Standard football, start of a new case. Half case of Encased basketball, start of a new case. A full case of Tribute baseball. On Tuesday, we're going to break the back half of this Donruss football that we started tonight. Same as tonight, the base cards do not ship. They will have their own bidding spot once again. And if you refer to the listing description, you'll see all the information you need to know about it. Wednesday night, we will start early at 8:30 Eastern. It will be probably 2.5, 3-hour break, I'm guessing. Probably closer to 3 hours is my estimate off the top of my head. We will do a case of Origins football, a case of Chronicles baseball, a case of National Treasures collegiate football, and a half case of Archives baseball, which are loose boxes from a shared case. Those are all 4 coming out Wednesday. And yeah, we're just going to undertake it and just go for it and get them all 4 done on Wednesday night. Woohoo! All right, so that is it for tonight. Thank you once again, everyone. I appreciate you being here, spending part of your Friday night with me. I hope you have a great weekend ahead. If I don't see you again until next week, I hope that all is well. And I will be back at it Monday night. All right, bye.